Right, Ms. Matlin, you were here today for an initial hearing. Tender to the court has been filed, notice living man, declaration of status. Those are signed by you and have been entered. There's also an affidavit of truth that is unsigned. And so anyway, we're here for an initial hearing and to make sure that you understand your charges. What is your date of birth?
I do not understand. I am here on a special appearance of Thomas Maitland in all caps letters on a special appearance of the case number of 46D04-2602-CM-0250.
Correct. But I need to tell you what you're charged with in this case. So first of all, how old are you?
I'm 29.
All right. What's your birthday?
You guys should already know that, correct, or no?
No, I don't. I don't know what your birthday is.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I just need you to tell me.
Here's the problem. If we don't know who you are, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. So we're trying to get past that level.
Okay.
Okay, so state.
Then you didn't get these papers. I'm going to give them to you.
Okay, so let's back up. My job is to make sure you understand what you're charged with. I have what you filed, and that's made a matter of record. What is your date of birth? Well, you know what? Let me see here. Okay. Hold on. I do have it. Is your birth date 9/29/96 and you're 29 years old? Is that correct?
That is my living man. Yes, that's when I was born, but not this all caps name that's on the docket that you sent me papers for.
Okay. Yeah. So your correct name is, I had that right here too. Well, you signed it, Bo Matlin, what you entered into the court.
Yeah, but not in all caps.
Okay. All right. That's noted for the record. We have an address of Lean, Michigan. And is that where you live?
I do not.
Okay. Where do you live?
That's me, my person, not this all caps name.
Okay, I understand that. We made a record of that, so that's not a problem.
Okay,
but what I need to know is if that's where you live in Glean.
No.
That's not where you live?
That's where the physical man lives, not the all caps name.
Okay. The all caps name I've taken care of.
Okay.
Right. I understand your concern with that. Taken care of. That's, well, that's noted for the record that that's not the way your name is. But what I need to know is what your address, so that you can be properly notified of things that are going on in this court. So what is your address? Is that where,
Your Honor,
you live?
Your Honor and the prosecutor have taken an oath of office, correct?
Okay. This is not your time to ask, sir. Okay, so we have to make sure that we go through the right procedure. You filed all that, so I understand where you're coming from, so to speak. But what I need to do, I have a job, and I would be not upholding my job and what I am sworn to do if I did not inform you of these things. So I need to know if you live at Michigan.
That the living man does not.
Okay, the living man lives there, correct?
At an initial hearing in Indiana, Mrs. Matlin appears after filing documents claiming living man status. The judge attempts to confirm her identity, date of birth, and address, but she argues that the all-capitalized name on the docket represents a corporation, not her true self. The court notes her objection for the record and continues with standard procedure.
All caps is two different.
Right, no, the living man lives there in Galean, correct? At that address?
I don't understand.
All right, when you go home tonight, where are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep at this address in Galean, Michigan?
That's where I reside, but that's not where this corporation of my all caps name is.
Okay, so we've got that's where you live, so to speak. Then I also need to make sure that you understand your constitutional rights. So do you know what your constitutional rights are as a defendant in this court?
Yeah.
Everyone, the Constitution gives you certain rights that have to be followed as a defendant here. So do you know what your constitutional rights are?
Yeah, I state on record my constitutional law, section 329 is Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago, Lagar, Chicago versus versus Chicago. Lagar versus Chicago, 29NE934.
Okay, that obviously is not a case that would be applicable here because this is Indiana, but I need to make sure that you understand that you have the right to assistance of a lawyer if you want one. If you intend to hire one, you have to do within 10 days. And if any deadlines are missed or legal issues or defenses that could have been raised could be waived or given up. If you're unable to afford a lawyer, the court will appoint one for you. You have the right to a speedy and public trial to the judge or jury. And if you want a jury trial, there has to be a written demand with the court 10 or more days before the trial date. You have the right to require the state to prove the elements of the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt at a trial in order to obtain a conviction against you. And throughout these proceedings, you are presumed to be innocent. You have the right to hear and cross-examine all witnesses appearing against you. You have the right to require witnesses to be present at any hearing or trial to testify on your behalf. And the court would assist you in that right by issuing subpoenas. You have the right to remain silent. You cannot be compelled to make any statement or testify against yourself at any hearing or trial. Anything you do say could be used against you. You have the right to be tried in the county in which this offense allegedly occurred. You have the right to appeal to a higher court if convicted. You have the right to demand the nature and cause of the accusation against you and to have a copy of the information. If you plead guilty, you would give up those rights. Now, I'm not going to ask you if you agree with those things. I'm going to ask you if you understand what it is that I just read.
I do not understand.
Okay, what don't you understand? That was wrong.
Well, I mean, I just stated where I stand.
Understand, but
Understand.
okay, those are your rights under the Constitution of the United States of America, as well as the Constitution of the state of Indiana. I am not going to ask you if you agree to them. I'm not going to ask you if you think they apply to you. I just want to make sure you understand those are your rights, if you choose to accept them or not. Those are your rights in this country, in this state. Do you understand that?
I do not understand.
Okay. We'll make for the record that you don't understand that. Also, that those rights have been read out in court, and so that you have been apprised of them. So, State, could you tell the defendant what he's charged with and what the possible...
The judge reads her constitutional rights, including the right to an attorney, jury trial, silence, and appeal. Matlin repeatedly says she does not understand and argues that statutes are not constitutional law. The prosecutor then explains a charge: operating a motor vehicle without ever receiving a valid driver's license, a Class C misdemeanor punishable by up to 60 days in jail, and a $500 fine. She maintains that the statute does not apply to her.
penalties are?
Your Honor, he is charged by way of information that alleges that on January 31, 2026, in LaPorte County, state of Indiana, the defendant unlawfully, knowingly, or intentionally operated a motor vehicle upon a highway, a Ford Ranger with Michigan license plates D as in David, P as in Peter, T as in Tom, 9082, having never received a valid operator's license and not being exempt from those requirements under Section 9-1-4-27. That is a Class C misdemeanor. A Class C misdemeanor is 60 days in the LaPorte County Jail and a $500 fine.
All right, so Mr. Maitland, again, I'm not going to ask you if you agree with that or if you think you're subject to that law, which of course we've established that you are. But you understand what the state is saying that you did that's against the law. Do you understand what that is that they're saying, that you hadn't ever received a license?
I mean, he stated a statute. That's not law. That's not constitutional law. You just asked me if I understand my constitutional law, and I do understand my constitutional law. And what he stated is a statute that doesn't apply.
Okay, so let me stop you there. So the statutes are pursuant to the Constitution. We can have no statute that violates the Constitution of the United States or the state of Indiana. So you can make your arguments on the law. All I need to know is if you understand what the prosecutor said.
I do not. I do not understand.
Okay, so what the prosecutor did, the prosecutor read to you what they have charged you with, the state of Indiana, what they charge you with, and what the penalty could be for you.
That's right.
So we're going to make a record that was read clearly out to you, and as the charge and the possible penalties, so that has been done on the record. I'm going to enter a preliminary plea of not guilty for you. And are you going to hire a lawyer, represent yourself, or ask for the public defender?
I'm going to represent myself.
Okay, all right, we'll make a record of that. I do need to tell you, however, you have the constitutional rights to represent yourself in this court. However, you will be going against the state, and they are attorneys who are licensed, who are very experienced, who understand the law backwards and forwards. I just need to make sure that you've heard me say that and that you understand that. But it is your right to represent yourself. So we'll make a record of that. And we're going to reset your case to, as given about.
A record to show that I don't understand the statutes that the state is putting upon me, and I don't understand where the constitutional law is coming from, because I'm stating the constitutional law, and you swore under an oath of office, and so did the prosecutor. So if you guys don't want to understand the oath of office, then we'll have to proceed from there.
Okay. All right, understood. Your next court date?
I just gave them a form vote to self-represent, just so you.
Okay, all right. So we got a form there, so you know what you need to do as a self-rep to represent yourself. And our next court date is
March 25th at 12:45.
March 25th at 12:45.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. We gave it to him.
I know you do that one, please. It's kind of mean. You gave it to the magistrate.
It is his.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't make that up.
Call that last number. I was.
Oh, listen, ma'am, if I could do that at my will, he would get a lot more cases.
We're off the record.
Yeah.
Okay.
The judge formally enters a not guilty plea on her behalf and asks whether she will hire an attorney, request a public defender, or represent herself. Matlin chooses to represent herself. The judge warns her that she will be facing experienced state attorneys and confirms her right to self-representation. Despite her continued objections about constitutional authority and oaths of office, the court proceeds and sets the next hearing date for March 25th at 12:45. Concluding the session,